Bonnie Blue was in court today and she's finally facing up to the charges. And before today, these charges, they really were piling up.
The British OnlyFans star was arrested on suspicion of producing pornographic material. An investigation found she and the crew breached tourist visas and Indonesian traffic law by using an open pickup truck to film commercial content on a public street.
The whole world was waiting, really. We were all waiting to see if we were going to get some good news. Before the verdict or even the court appearance came through, though, it seems like that wasn't going to happen, because some footage dropped of her before the court appearance, and it's a weird watch. Apparently, they haven't got HD cameras out there yet, but you'll see what I mean.
Hey, Bonnie, what is your arrestment to be deported and banned from entering the country for 10 years even more?
The smugness is palpable, and I think with that in mind, she knew that she weren't going to get the worst case scenario here, and she was begging it. She knew this footage was going to go everywhere. After being hounded by the media for like 30 minutes, and rightly so to be fair, well, she finally said a word, and it's exactly what you would expect to come out of her mouth, really.
Bonnie, you ready to face the court tomorrow?
I can face any amount of men.
What? Can you say it again, please?
I can face any amount of men.
Starting to think she may not be a demon, she may just be some kind of droid, robot, I don't know. She is a soundboard. She says the exact same things over and over again.
Okay, so you're ready to face the traffic, allegation of traffic?
There's nothing I can't face, also.
And I feel kind of dirty watching this, to be honest. Like, there is no reaction to her saying stuff like this anymore. She's desensitized me, and I think she may be desensitizing a whole generation. And the media were trying to gas her up for some reason. Bonnie Blue's defiant 5-word message to Bali as she faces 15 years in jail. When I read this, I assumed she would say something interesting for once, but I was disappointed.
Are you making content on YouTube? Subscribe and you'll find out.
Subscribe and you'll find out. At this point, I don't even know what you can subscribe to. She is banned on OF, and a friend told me that. But this does add credence to the robot theory, because I don't think her soundboard has been updated yet. But it got to the point where she started making content in the police station. And at this point, this whole thing is becoming so profitable for her.
Spend the day with me and some random press people.
Yeah, at this point, it were looking good because reports were dropping actively. Police had actually found content on her phone, but because she hadn't shared it, well, it didn't constitute a crime, so she actually somehow got away with this one. So it explains the smugness, but at this point, she then did actually go to court.
Adult star Bonnie Blue has agreed to pay a $20 fine after a Bali court gave her the option of the penalty or spending a month in prison for breaching local traffic rules.
$20 fine. $20 fine. I spent more than that last night on a round of drinks, and it's going to take more than one pint to make me sympathise with Bonnie Blue, to be honest. I did kind of quietly suspect this was going to be the case, but it's the hope that kills you.
Authorities accused the OnlyFans entertainer, whose real name is Tia Billinger, of breaking the law by using an open-backed truck to carry passengers instead of goods.
I am actually hearing reports that her legal team tried to argue she is indeed an object. Sadly, the court weren't buying that one, so she didn't get away with it. And if it had just been the fine that she was charged with, well, it would have been a complete joke. Luckily, though, she did actually get some consequences. She was deported from Indonesia.
The 26-year-old and her crew, including 2 British men and Australian comedian Julian Woods, have been ordered to leave the country and are banned from entering Indonesia for at least 10 years.
And the ban, at least, is pretty interesting because there's talk in the media of that being extended basically indefinitely. And I think actually this is where it's starting to get bad for Bonnie Blue, because these travel bans and these deportations, they actually are starting to pile up. There are only so many hunting grounds for Bonnie Blue in the world, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but she is actually starting to run out. For now, though, she was actively soaking in this, and her and the people that did get deported with her, well, you could tell they just didn't care.
What's the crime eating a succulent Chinese meal?
This is the star.
What's the crime eating a succulent Chinese meal?
That's pretty funny the first time, but, the second time, you're begging it a little bit. And speaking of begging it, the snitch actually spoke to the media as well. It's actually pretty funny, because it turns out when he went to the police, they couldn't even grasp what he was reporting. They just couldn't comprehend it. But once we explained to them that she's driving around in the gangbang bus, and that she was bragging about sleeping with schoolies, some of who were barely legal, they confirmed the activity was illegal. Seems like his motivation was to protect Bali, and actually actually, he might have done that. Because now, really, the precedent has been set. There are a lot of eyes on the island now, and the police probably have a responsibility to crack down a little bit.
You can't do that in Bali. They'll get you. The Indonesians don't really like that. I mean, they kind of tolerate it to some extent because there are a load of like harlots who live in Bali and do that whole thing. But they're not as famous as Bonnie Blue.
I mean, yeah, she might have actively hurt her co-workers here. She's actually trying to monopolise the game, and that's pretty selfish, actually.
Bonnie Blue's there driving around the bang bus and discussing things that happen in Bali on podcasts and making the government look a little bit... Do you know what I'm saying? Seedy. That's not going to be good for anyone.
Could this be 4D chess? Could Bonnie Blue be a plant to, like, make OnlyFans be despised by the general public? Probably not, probably not. It's a theory, though. It's a theory. And if it is 4D chess, she's actually doing a good job. I mentioned earlier that this is all starting to pile up for her on a global scale, and I weren't lying, because Bonnie is now banned from Australia, Fiji, and again, she's also banned from OnlyFans, Airbnb, and Nottingham Forest Ground, which is a weird one. By looking into these, it's hard to say these bans aren't justified.
Big man thing. Would you ever go to like a third world country and like start clotting people?
Well, I went to Fiji.
Big man
I think
thing.
that's a third world country.
Fiji?
Yeah, and I got deported.
She's just told me she's been deported.
Fiji. I didn't like the country anyway.
Judging by the footage, does look like she was enjoying herself. And the comments do actually raise a good point. We have got to start bullying these people that link her. Because lads, this ain't on. You are actively contributing to this.
Why'd you get banned?
For 18-year-olds there.
Big man thing. Noncy behaviour.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a Pacific island in that?
Middle of nowhere.
So what did you do? You just dropped on the island like, yo, location, and they just started...
Yeah, started queuing up. I said,
Big.
hey, this is my hotel room. Like, this is where I am. Like, fuck me.
Big man thing. This gal is attention seeking.
Yeah, she is, and she's getting it. She is getting it. Getting it from entire governments at this point.
And then the Fiji government went on TV and was like, Bonnie Blue, well, they said Tia Billinger is banned from Fiji. And then they sent the police to come and get me out of the country.
The feds.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Pacific Islanders, bruv.
But the best thing about it is I got given deportation papers. I then did a gangbang with my deportation papers, and then when the paper got all mushy, a bit like paper mache, I stuffed the papers inside my...
I can't believe she just said that, bruv.
And I'd agree again, mate, but the sad thing is, at this point, I just can. Again, though, it's not just Fiji, because it is Australia as well. If any of you watching are Australian, let me know, but it seems like she is like a celebrity or very, very known in Australia. When she first started OF as well, ironically, she did actually relocate with her husband to Australia.
Got married really young. Pretty, quite intimate wedding, nothing crazy, nothing over the top. And then we relocated to Australia shortly afterwards.
And it's ironic because their marriage did go down under very soon after. And it looks like she has earned her reputation down there because there is another OF model that she even has collabed with in the past. She actually tried to emulate Bonnie Blue's stunt and it didn't go well for her. And I can't really blame Bonnie for this, you know, personal responsibility is definitely a thing. This was so big that it made the news down there.
28-year-old detailed her experience in a new interview with Us Weekly published May 21st, revealing she was hospitalized. I'm not doing very well. I've been bleeding a lot since the challenge.
Yeah, that's probably about as much as I want to hear about that, to be honest. But the point remains that her reputation down there took a dive if it could get any lower than it initially was, because she got barred from entering the country, and actually, for Australia, that can only be a good thing.
Adult content creator Bonnie Blue, who'd been offering her services to, quote, barely legal schoolies, has had her Australian visa cancelled. 7 News understands the Department of Home Affairs made the decision because the British woman was advertising the fact she was going to work in Australia despite being on a 12-month visitor visa.
And it's not for any moral reasons, but the point remains. This actually happened to another British content creator, Big John. Went down there to do some appearances and he got barred, so it's not actually that uncommon. And she does claim that she now can go back, but that remains to be seen. What doesn't remain to be seen, though, is that we are cooked. And actually, I am reminded of that every time I type her name in.
Please, I need this. My mom is kind of homeless.
But let me know what you think. You know, the comments on these Bonnie Blue videos, they do warm my heart a little bit. A lot of them are funny, but at the same time, like, I'm just glad that we're still kind of sane as a society, even if we are being subjected to this like demonic stuff on a daily basis. And the demonic stuff, by the way, is about to get a lot worse, in my opinion. There is no way Bonnie Blue doesn't go crazy off of the back of this much publicity. So like and sub. If we're gonna watch it, we might as well watch it together. With that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.
What are your honest thoughts on Bonnie Blue?
Who? I actually don't know who that is. Who is that?